Video coverage of IT Expo is brought to you by Content Boost, the content marketing specialists. Amplify your sales today.
Hi, Peter Bernstein, Senior Editor of TMCnet, and I'm here in beautiful Miami for IT Expo East. And I'm delighted to be joined today with Greg Montgomery, who's the Senior Vice President. I gave you a promotion.
I'll take it.
Of marketing for Orbcomm. So,
yes.
Where do you want to start? Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you're seeing in the marketplace and how you guys have reacted and been so successful?
That's a good question. You know, the satellite and terrestrial machine-to-machine industry is moving very briskly. A lot of consolidation, a lot of acquisitions. In the past, companies have come to market with kind of a single solution. What I mean by that is they have one satellite infrastructure, or they have one cellular provider like an AT&T or a T-Mobile, Vodafone, whatever it may be. And it's made it very difficult to propagate your solutions across supply chains, across businesses, globally. Because as you know, not every network actually works in every place, in every instance for every specific usage.
I've heard that.
That's right.
Yeah.
So with our business, what we've done over the past few years is we've transformed from just being a satellite operator. We have our own satellites. We're putting a whole new set of satellites up this year, $200 million worth of satellites on SpaceX 9, with our first rocket going up here in the early part of 2014. But we then created partnerships with Inmarsat and Globalstar and other satellite players to resell their services along with ours, depending on what the appropriate need is. And we also have strategic relationships with all those Tier 1 cellular carriers. What that allows us to do is provide the appropriate solution as a one-stop shop for customers, depending on their need. It also allows us to combine the technology, so you can put satellite and cellular in a single device. So if you're working in Africa, for example, at times you're not going to be in any cellular coverage, and you're going to need that satellite coverage.
Yeah, and I want to make it clear, because I've known this market for quite a while,
right?
That footprint is critical.
Yes, it is.
Logistically, especially in certain vertical markets where the resources that are their product are very hard to get to.
Correct.
So no one's running any fiber out there.
Right.
No one's stringing any terrestrial wireless out there.
That's correct.
You are the provider.
That's correct. And not only are we the provider, but we've got some new technologies that actually allow us to be a premium provider of a solution in the market. And what I mean by that is when you're actually sitting in a remote area of Africa and you've got an unpowered asset, whether it's a Caterpillar piece of equipment or some other piece of equipment, you need to be able to have that device report, but also that device can't be relying on having power as a source. And oftentimes in GPS devices, their batteries deplete. We have solar panel on our new device that won first place at the MTIM CTI show. And that device allows, or that solar panel allows our device to survive in complete darkness for 5 years while reporting. And it regenerates 50 messages for every 1 hour of sunlight. That means in 1 week, it fully regenerates a full year of reporting capability.
So that's the piece, and people have always written off satellites for the last, I don't know how long, but the downlink piece of this that gives a broad footprint really is the value added. And,
that's right.
And you guys, in many instances, are the only way to reach the internet.
Right, and so
it's not just about making phone calls.
Right. A lot of this is data. So one of our largest customers is Caterpillar. One of the deals we just signed recently is with Doosan, another huge heavy equipment player. We also inked a deal recently with Ryder. I'm sure you know that name. All of these firms rely on the ability to get constant communication, uplink, downlink, to know where their assets are. The satellites that we have obviously provide that. Now, having the ability to provide them the cellular communication in dual mode is even more important, though, because costs on business. So if I can go low-cost routing on cellular and then have satellite as well when I'm out of communication with a cellular tower, it's even more optimal for somebody in terms of reporting and managing their costs to track assets.
So there you have it. The next generation of communications really is about making sure there's ubiquitous broadband out there, and satellites have to be a key part of the mix.
They do. I'm quite excited, for our OG2 launch. Obviously, with SpaceX 9 being a partner, we're looking forward to our first launch here coming up. It's the next generation of satellites. These satellites are 6 times more powerful than our previous satellites. It'll be the creme de la creme of the class, leapfrogging the other players in the industry. And it allows us to put more bandwidth, more throughput, more coverage. But in addition, all of these new satellite modems that we're providing are backwards compatible, meaning they work on our previous satellite infrastructure.
Awesome. Well, thanks for stopping by,
Thanks
and
a lot.
have a great show.
Video coverage of IT Expo is brought to you by Content Boost, the content marketing specialists. Amplify your sales today.